Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. My track guide for the GR86 going around Zandvoort, the Grand Prix layout. Let's get into it. In qualifying, you want to be all the way on the left. In the race, turn 1 can be a good place to try and overtake though. I brake halfway between the 100 and the 50 board here on the left. I aim for 85% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to just before the wall ends. And just before the wall ends, I'll also apply the throttle again, easing it in a little bit, just to make sure we don't understeer too much out of the corner. Then we want to use all of the curb on the outside, as that will not give a 1x in this one. Stay on the left side of the track. For turn 2, make sure to use all of the curb here on the outside. I brake when I get to the beginning of the yellow board here on the left. We don't have to brake a lot, we just have to make sure we come out on the right side of the track after the corner. So I'm holding about 15% brake pressure all the way to the curb on the inside, to where we want to be applying the throttle again. Again, just make sure you come out on the right side of the track, because we want to stay up high for this banked corner. For turn 3, there's no clear braking marker, but we do have to brake a little, so I go to about 25% brake pressure, easing off the pressure until the wall here on the right side nearly stops. And just before the wall stops is also where you want to apply the throttle again. I aim to have the left set of wheels on the white line. I feel when I go wider than this, I'll get a little bump going out, and that will cost me a bit of time. Now we want to take the shortest route possible, cutting turn 5's inside curb, all the way up on it, still being flat out, and cutting a lot of curb here on turn 6, before going out to the left side of the track. For turn 7 we do have to brake a bit, and I brake when I get past the beginning of the emergency road, and I aim for about 30% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to just before the curb, which is also where you want to pick up the throttle again. It's quite a quick corner, so make sure to use all of the curb on the outside, otherwise you will lose quite a lot of time here. Now you want to stay on the left side of the track. For turn 8, make sure to get all the way up on the curb. I brake when I leave the curb here, again aiming for about 30% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to the inside curb. Don't cut the curb too hard, it will unsettle the car. Once I'm past the curb, I'll go full throttle again. We aim to come out on the left side of the track, and we have a lot of curb we can use on the outside. Make sure to use it, but take the shortest route possible out there. As I said, get out on the curb here. I brake when I get to the 50 board here on the left. Here I aim for about 75% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to the curb on the inside. I aim to apex just about where the curb ends, so I get out just about mid-track to get ready for turn 10. Don't be too aggressive with the inputs. It's quite easy to lose the rear here. Once I'm at the curb, I'll go full throttle again. Again aiming to come out about mid-track, so we quickly could get over to the right side of the track for turn 10. For turn 9 I don't have a clear braking marker. I try and use the blue toilet here on the right, but depending on your graphics that might not be there. Once I lose it out of my sight, I'll start to brake, and I aim for about 45% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to just before the curb, which is where I'll start to apply the throttle again. Again easing the throttle in to make sure we make the corner. On the outside of the corner there's a bit of curbing we can use. Make sure to use it so you'll have as high an exit speed as possible, before bringing the car back to the left side of the track for the next turn. Turn 11 can be a good place to try and overtake, especially if you get a run on the guy in front of you. Just have that in the back of the head for the race. Turn 11 I brake when I get on the curb here, and I aim for about 80% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to the curb on the inside. Don't cut that curb too much, it will unsettle the car quite a lot. It's all about setting up for turn 12. Making sure we get a good exit out of turn 12. So we cut the curb we can on the inside, then we're getting close to the inside of turn 12. It's banking a bit, so we can carry a bit more speed than we think. Once we're close to the curb on the inside, slowly apply the throttle again, and use all of the big curb here on the outside to help maximize exit speed. Now get over to the left side of the track. Turn 13 is all about carrying as much speed as we can, but we do have to brake a little. I try and brake when I lose the wall here on the right out of my sight. Not the easiest, but it's the one I use. A quick hit to about 15% and quickly off it again, letting the car rotate and roll into the corner. Once I get to the curb, I'll start to apply the throttle again. Again, easing it in a little bit to make sure I don't understeer too much out of the gravel here. And of course use all of the curb we are on here to help maximize the exit speed. Now hug the white line all the way around, but just before the end of the wall you want to check out to the left and use the little dip just to help you get those few kph more at the end of the straight. And that's my lap around Zandvoort, the Grand Prix layout for 150.6. I have more track guides for the GR86 linked down below. Hopefully this one helped you. If it did, leave a like down below. Consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.